Now let's join Vice Presidents Carl Zander and Gary Shreve as they discuss the power of setting personal goals and 3 simple ways you can achieve them.
Thank you, Paul, and welcome everybody. As you can see, I'm here with Carl Zander. And Carl and I would like to take a couple moments today and talk to you about goals and the importance of setting goals as we enter this new year. Obviously, goals are a major part of our success in Forever Living, and we want to make sure that we start off 2010 with goals and dreams in mind, not only for ourselves, but for our teams. Obviously, goals are an important part of your Forever business. And what Carl and I would like to do today is share with you 3 steps to help you achieve your goals in 2010. Step number 1, set SMART goals. Step number 2, identify potential obstacles and how you will overcome them. And step number 3, identify who are the people that you will ask for help and support to get you through these goals. So let's go back to step number 1, SMART goals. SMART goals stand for S, specific goals. What exactly do you want to achieve? Specifically, what is it you want to achieve in 2010? Maybe it's become manager, or qualify for the profit sharing program or the earned incentive. Or maybe it's you want to earn $5,000 a month. That is something specific that you'd want to achieve. Now Carl here, he had a childhood dream, and I'd like to ask him how he applied a specific goal to achieving his childhood dream.
Well, Gary, you know, when I was about 7 years old, what started out as a dream to be a professional football player, at about 12, it became a goal of mine. And what I did was I visualized myself on the football cards, the bubblegum football cards you have. I want to be on a bubblegum football card. I want to play in the NFL. I want to be on TV. So I think it was quite specific. I was going to realize once I had achieved that, I would actually be in the NFL. There would be no doubt that I had been a successful football player.
Fantastic. Thank you, Carl. Now, measurable. Measurable is how will you know when your goal is achieved, and how are you going to measure the progress as you obtain that goal? So let's go back to talking about your progress toward making a manager. How are you going to measure your progress? Obviously, as you build your group throughout the months, we know that you have to have 120 case credits in 2 consecutive months to make manager. How will you measure your progress? With your bonus recap. Every month your bonus recap will come, and so you'll be able to measure specifically that progress towards your goal of making manager. So Carl, tell me, as you were striving to achieve your goal as an NFL football player, how did you measure your progress?
Well, Gary, it was quite simple. I knew that in high school I was going to have a really good career that ended with a football scholarship to a major university. So that was very measurable for me there. And then on top of that, I knew I was going to have to measure myself after 4 years of playing college football. It was going to be time for the draft.
Well, the next step in SMART goals is achievable. Is your goal achievable with the level of effort and commitment that you're willing to put forth? Now let's go back to the example of profit sharing. Are you willing to put in the time and the effort and the commitment in this year, 2010, to receive your profit sharing check at your regional rally in this upcoming year? That's how you'll know whether your goal is achievable, whether you are willing to put that time and effort in. So Carl, going back to your NFL career, at what point did you realize this was an achievable goal?
Well, Gary, I knew it was achievable because I truly believed in it, and I was willing to put forth the commitment to make it happen and execute my plan to get to the NFL.
Next is realistic. To be a realistic goal, it must represent an objective toward which you are both willing and able to work toward. Now let's go back to the example of the earned incentive. Are you able and willing to work toward your 50 cases in 1 month, your 100 in the next, and 150 cases in your 3rd month to be able to achieve that earned incentive? If not, it obviously is not a realistic goal. So Carl, going back to your goal, tell me, how did it become a realistic goal for you?
Well, Gary, it was realistic for me because I was willing to give up going to the parties and sacrifice the things that I needed to in order to spend the time working out, lifting weights, running, bettering my skills in order to give myself a chance to play in the NFL. So for me, it was very realistic.
Fantastic. So to finish with SMART goals, the last portion is timely. A goal should be grounded with a specific time frame in mind. So again, going back to the example of making $5,000 a month, you can't say, well, one day I hope I can make $5,000 a month. No, you have to have a specific date and time for which you want to achieve this goal. It could be by the end of 2010, maybe it's by the end of June of this upcoming year, but have a specific date and time for which you're going to achieve this goal. Now, Carl, again, how was your goal playing in the NFL timely?
Well, Gary, it was very timely because I knew that I had 4 years to play, of eligibility to play college football, and at the end of those 4 years was going to be the NFL draft, and I was going to have a great senior season, and after my senior season was going to be the combines, which are workouts where the scouts look at you and such, and then in the month of April became the NFL draft, and it was going to be the biggest day of my life. And fortunately, I was drafted number 42 overall, and I got to play for Cincinnati Bengals for 7 years.
Fantastic. So that's step number one, SMART goals. So obviously, take some time, sit down, plan for 2010, set out your SMART goals. Step number two, identify the obstacles, the potential obstacles that lie in your way, and how you will overcome them. And number three, identify those individuals from whom you will need help and support. Talk with them. Share your goals with them, and I promise you, if you do that, you will be able to achieve your goals in this upcoming year.
Now folks, don't forget, don't let the dream stealers take your dream away. Believe in yourself. If you believe you can, you can. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.